Hello and a very good afternoon. Welcome back to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Mosby and welcome to Friday. Whoop whoop. Yes, Friday is here, and this time on a Friday means, of course, that we bring you Colour Me Happy. I think perhaps one of our more sort of laid-back shows, lots of demos during this show as well, and also lots of interaction, hopefully, from you at home, letting us know what you have been getting up to as far as colouring is concerned. Lots of new people have been tuning in over the course of this year. I think with the lockdown as is, with people perhaps, you know, into the new year thinking about taking up a new hobby, lots of people have come to us as well. And Colour Me Happy, it's funny how you learn stuff when you're here, isn't it? Colour Me Happy was one of the very first shows actually when the first lockdown happened back in March last year, that we kind of put together for you guys to kind of share your projects and show us what you were doing. And this show has actually kind of paved the way for all of the other shows that we now bring you here on Crafters TV. So do you know what? We want to kind of get back to basics with this show and get you involved. So if you're brand new to the channel, if you've tuned in today because you saw Colour Me Happy and you thought, oh, I'd quite like to learn a little bit more as to, you know, how I can get colouring, then let us know. If you tuning in for the first time and maybe the last couple of weeks or so and you haven't yet said hello, then definitely do that. Stick your head above the parapet and give us a little wave and tell us who you are, where you are, why you tuned in to us, how you found us. And also, actually, if you have got any questions over the course of this show, get those in as well, because that's what we're here for. We'll answer those questions. And here's the other thing too. If you are colouring during this show, then get in touch with us. If you're colouring along whilst we're going to be doing all the demos and colouring here, then send us some photos. We had loads of photos in the last show. I reckon we must have had 20, 25 photos. Easy. So let's try and beat that in this show. Let us know what you've been colouring, what you've been using, and send us those pictures because we love to see them. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send your pics. It is not just me on my own over the course of the next 2 hours. Thank goodness I hear you cry. That would... All right, Laura. Producer Laura's just gone, that'd be odd, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be that odd, would it? But anyway, I have got the lovely Debbie Fisher with me for the next couple of hours. Hiya, Debbie. What are we looking forward to in this show?
Oh, lots to look forward to. I don't think you're odd, Ben, but I do think you can't be trusted on your own.
What?
Yes.
What?
Can't be trusted on his own.
What? Just hang on a second. Is that can't be trusted on my own here or just in life in general?
Just here, Ben. Okay. Yeah, just here.
Okay.
Maybe in general. So anyway, we have amazing pens on the show today. So if you are just joining us and you're wanting a hobby, the great thing is you joined us at the right time because we've got this amazing Colour Me Happy show. Colouring makes us happy.
Yes.
This isn't just what's in the title. This is a true fact because colouring takes you somewhere else. It takes you in a bit of dreamland. It takes you for time for yourself. It amazes me that more and more people it doesn't amaze me that more and more people are getting into colouring because it is one of those really therapeutic hobbies. And what I have for you today is a tri-blend pen. It's a tri-colour pen. It's a tri-colour
Easy for
pen.
you to say.
Easy to say, yes. But what these pens are amazing for is they tell you exactly what they are.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop them the right way. So if I turn it that way, you can see that we've got 3 colours in that pen, and these 3 colours will blend beautifully together. And it's giving you these beautiful brush nibs. So for all your different brush strokes, however you paint with. Also, because they're watercolour pens, it means you can do so many different techniques. So we're going to be going through loads of techniques, how to do backgrounds. We're going to see how you can colour with them. We're going to see how you can blend these and use them with your sparkle pens as well. So stay tuned because we are going to be seeing so much more and beautiful stamps in between as well.
Lovely, sort of a bit of a, you know, whetting the appetite there as to what's to come over the course of this show. And also, while we were chatting pre-show, I heard Debbie utter the phrase that these pens particularly, we do loads of different ranges of pens here at Crafters Companion, but Debbie actually said these are perfect for beginners. We will explore that more, I'm sure, over the course of the show. But if you are a beginner and you're thinking, oh, I would quite like to invest in some pens, then maybe these are the ones that you go for this afternoon. We'll do a few hellos in just a second. One thing I do want to bring to the fore here is your rotating design board. This is always very, very popular indeed. I remember when it came back in stock, as I said, because it was a Colour Me Happy show that I did with Fiona, and she did not stop going on about this, honestly, for about 2 weeks before. And then when we got it, she was almost doing cartwheels around the old studio because she was so excited about this. This is one of those things, right? If you're looking at it right now and you've not seen it before, you're thinking, rotating design board. Do I really need one of those? It's not until you see us using this and then you get this home and you use it for yourself that you think, hang on a minute, why have I never ever had one of these in my life before? It's brilliant for the fact that if you are doing things like your colouring, for example, if you're doing your sketching, your drawing, even just like your writing, your calligraphy and all those sorts of things, it's super brilliant because you've got the ability to rotate the board at just the angle that you want to rotate it. It's also, if you think it's just a flimsy old board, it is super, super well made. You've got all the ball bearings in there as well, so it turns around nice and easily for you. We were chatting the other day as well, we were saying that particularly, I think this would be good for people who are left-handed also. So I remember this kid at school I used to go to school with, funny enough, and when he used to write, always used to smudge his words as he used to write across. But of course with this, you've got the ability to turn it to just the angle that you want. If you like to craft on the hoof, if you like to be able to do some sketching and colouring and drawing out and about, or maybe on your lap of an evening, this is perfect. And we will see this over the course of the show, I am sure. $15.99 or $19.99 is the price per board, less your 20% if you're platinum, and of course it's double points for you too, which is brilliant. So it does exactly what it says on the tin. You're getting double points on all of the products across this show, and indeed right across the weekend too. Right, those pens, the Tricolours, let's just show you the bundle that you're going to be getting today, which is just brilliant. Love this for the fact, as Debbie's already kind of touched on, I suppose, is that the fact that you've got these Tricolour Aquas, so you've got the ability to do so many different things with these, so many different techniques that you can work with. And each of the pens, as you can see with each of the 4 collections that you're going to get, you've got 3 different colours within each of the pens. So you've got a perfect kind of blend of colours within each of them to create some really, really gorgeous effects. So first up is your floral meadow. Within that, you're going to get your bright floral, your warm fiery, and your fresh verdant. And as you can see, all of the beautiful colours. So that's one pen there, if you like. That's the second and that's the third. And you can see how these blend absolutely beautifully together. I love that. Warm fiery there in the middle, absolutely gorgeous. You're then going to get within the collection your essentials neutrals. So that is your earthy neutral, which brings you your chestnut, your desert and your topaz. Then rich neutral, which is your burgundy, your tan and your sepia. And then your grey neutral, so slate, flint and your bark too. And again, it's that whole thing of if you haven't kind of got into colouring because you've worried about what blends into what and what works with what, that headache has been taken away for you with these pens. Next is the Great Outdoors, which is your Botanic Natural, so lime, sage and moss. Look at your cool marine, gorgeous there. Teal, your aqua marine in your lake blue. And then you've got your rich floral, which is your purple, your hot pink and your heather. And once again, you can see just how wonderfully those all blend together. And then of course your colour basics too, which is your warm primary, so your flame red sunflower and marine. Then you've got your cool primary, which is your red rose daffodil and azure blue. And then your complementary amber, alpine green and your orchid as well. And as I say, again, look at how those blend. You're going to see over the course of the show how easy it is to get blending with these. Now, you've got all of those markers included. So you've got 3, 6, 9, 12, but then of course you've got 3 different colours within each. So 9, 18, 27, 36. And if you think to me, well, hang on a minute, what's that up there? That is your wallet that you get with it to be able to house your pens. How awesome is that? That is coming to you absolutely for free with this collection today. It's a bundle worth $51.95 or $76.75. It is £38 or $57 if you go for this today. Take off your 20%, of course, if you are a platinum member, and that comes down even further for you too. Lots to show you as far as hints and tips and ways to use these are concerned, but also if you're getting some new pens, you might want something to work with. Stamps maybe. We have got a huge range of stamps for you over the course of this show, so let's have a look at those that you might be getting into your basket as well. Loads of different collections. The first collection we've got here just on the counter for you, there is a whole host of different themes in here, if you like, and this one has been specifically popped together to go with this collection, if you like. What you've got here, well, is so much. You've got your Let Love Grow, which is this gorgeous little watering can with the beautiful florals in there. You've then got You Brighten My Day. Oh, look at that. It's a little window box that you've got, again, with more flowers in there. Next along, this is where I need my varifocals. You've got Puppy Love. Oh, little puppy in the little box. Oh, that is so cute, isn't it? Little puppy in a basket. Ooh. Thank you, Laura. Oh no, that's the name of the next stamp set. You're So Sweet, which is your teapot and your cake and everything lovely about a little, cup of tea in the afternoon. You've then got, I mean, come on, right? How cute is this cat? I mean, he is the cutest little cat. Look at him. Look at him there. Look, he's coming out of the little box. Look, hello, what are you doing? There's your little cat. Very, very cute. So he's included in this collection. And then you've also got Have a Wonderful Day as well. So again, you can see across this collection, you've got so much scope for using your pens. And actually, again, stamps and sentiments for lots of different people as far as putting cards together are concerned. $31.96 or $39.80 is the price on that, saving $15.98 or $19.90, and then take your 20% off that if you're platinum as well. Double points, don't forget, right across the weekend. Let's do a few quick hellos and then we will get on to having a look at these pens. Lil J Craft is in from North Yorkshire. Anne Louise Harris says, hello again from snowy Alden, New York. Hello. Clarice says, happy Friday from South Carolina. Michelle Knits for You is here. Mary Rounds is in from South Carolina. Sally Bond's in. Hi one and all from Braunton. Yes, the Devon Massive are in the house. Gilmore says hello from a sunny yet frozen, let's get this right, Michigan. And Carol Batchelor says, hey everybody. There's lots of love coming in for the Tricolours, which we'll read a few little testimonials out in just a few moments time, and also lots of love for the lady the other side of the studio, and lots of love for your glasses, Debbie. Didn't I not say before the show how much I like your glasses, and loads of other people saying exactly the same?
Ah, that's really nice, thank you. Yeah, you'll know I'm not really a big lover of wearing glasses, but I think I'm going to have to wear more and more. But when it gets to colouring, I want to, if I colour without my glasses, I would look like I'm colouring as a 2-year-old. and not there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of really amazing 2-year-olds. Yeah, it might look like Ben's drawing from this morning.
Hey, I was sent that. My drawing this morning, I mean, I've had phone calls offering me to do some artwork for some of the big galleries around the country since that show, so you won't laugh when I'm a millionaire.
Wishful thinking, Ben.
Anyway, tell us about Move Over Banksy.
Well, let's look at some samples and then let's get straight into some demos because I'm dying to show you how they work. Oh, and I've got another little tip that I use my board for, which is totally not crafting, but it's a brilliant way to use the spinning board for. You'll like it as well, Ben. You'll love my idea that you'll get one.
Is it to do with food?
No.
Oh.
No. You could use it for food, yeah.
All right.
Not a bad idea.
Sorry.
Let's just wait. Stop guessing.
Okay.
Patience, Ben.
Wait. Hang on. Can you guess what Debbie uses it for? Comment, please. What you think it might be that Debbie uses her board for? Is it not craft related? You say? It's
not craft related, and it's not food related.
Okay. Suggestions, please, in the comments. What does Debbie use her rotating board for? Right. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? We like all these hacks, but you'll definitely want one whether you're crafting or not. So, so I'm going to show you some samples of these beautiful stamps, but also how using the markers creates them and makes you out there an artist, which is amazing. So this is a beautiful one. Then we've got our gorgeous teacup there, so that life is sweet. Yes. I love this one. There's something very traditional, very British about this one. Looks gorgeous. To be able to get that that soft cake design. I mean, look how that actually looks like a proper sponge cake.
Yeah, it does.
It's incredible. But then if you want to go really bright and vibrant and add a bit of sparkle, so we've added our sparkle pens in with the aquas on this one, and it looks incredible. I absolutely love this one, and we will show sort of how we can do these and how you can create two-colour ombre effect on here, but that really soft watercolour effect. And then if you look in the background, this is a faux bleach background, and we're covering that as well, so to show you how you can do those. But maybe you're something more traditional, maybe you've just got stamps in your creations, and you can actually create these pots, but being able to get all this light and shade, all different variants in there. And there is that gorgeous cat. I mean, looks very different to the one Ben showed, and actually when he's on in different colours, he just looks incredible. Anybody is going to love to colour that little guy. Do you know what we should do, Ben, as well? We should ask people to name the cat.
I love that idea as
Yes.
well. Name the cat, because we've been talking about, honestly, it's one of the steps that we've been talking about the most pre-show. So yeah, why not? Name the cat, please. Also send pictures of cats.
Yes. Boom.
Sorry, Laura, you'll have a bit of work to do now.
So just a couple more here, and I just wanted to show this sample because it's gorgeous. I'm going to pop it this way, but what you can see with this has been hand drawn with the pens, so it shows you how beautiful they look just by using them without adding any water to them. So don't think just because they're tri-blend pens we need to add water to them. You can just do masterpieces like this with them because they are so simple. Now, the fact that you get them in a carry case is amazing. I've got mine all here, so you can see that they're beautifully presented in here, but it means that when you close it, you've got your zip to just close all that off, take it with you. You've got a little pocket there that you can keep your stamps in or your ink pad, so that's really handy. So a really nice one to have. And then what I'm going to do, first of all, we are going to just bring in some cards and just have a play with our pens, get to know them, see what we can do with them. So I've got some brushes, I've got some spritzers, I've got my pens, of course.
Yep.
I've also got some ink applicators because yes, of course we have. And you're probably thinking, why do I need ink applicators when we're using watercolor pens but all will become clear? We've got watercolor card. It's one of my favorite mediums. I like it to use even when I'm not using watercolors. I like a textured surface.
Peggy just asked, 'cause I'm glad you put that. Peggy says, do you always use watercolor card with these pens? Is that you always use it?
You don't have to. You can use our white stamping card, because what it's all to do with, it's the tooth of the card. If you haven't got a good, what we call a tooth to the card, it means that when you apply water, you get sort of almost that mottling effect, and it starts to come off almost like a paper mache to start with, so it's not very good. But our stamping card is not as good as watercolor card because that's what it's designed for, but it's a really good one. So if you're not making loads of backgrounds, spritzing loads of water, and you're just using your pens, and in fact I think we'll show it, Ben, later on as we go through the show. Our stamp 2 was stamped with the watercolor, and we will stamp onto just some stamping card and just use it with the pens, and you'll see that either one will be absolutely fine for it. But if you're using lots of water and water effects, you definitely want watercolor card. It's the best card stock to use with that.
Bottom of the screen, just below Debbie there, you've got the details of the watercolour card collection. So 45 sheets of that for, well, £9 today, bit of a deal there for you. Or $13 comes down to $7.20 or $11.40 if you're platinum. It's a really good multi-buy price, that, and of course double points on that as well. Right, let's have a look at these pens.
Right, so I picked out one of our pens. So we've got a purple, a hot pink and a heather. So we've got these 3 different colours in here. Now, so for one you can use your glass mat. Now I would definitely say get yourself a glass mat. It's one of the things that you can do all your different techniques on. It doesn't matter what you do to the glass mat, you are going to get this really beautiful different techniques that you can do with it, and it's going to wash off no problem whatsoever. So first of all, I'm just going to create some background. So I'm going to use my pens on my mat, and all I'm going to do is spritz that with water. So I'm actually giving that a really good spritzing, making that watered down, but you can see all those colours. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just place my card into there.
Yeah.
And we're just going to lay that down. And what that's going to do is give us just a beautiful colour wash. So as we pick that up, we've got that really gorgeous design straight away onto there. And if we sort of move it and do different designs, we can get that to go. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use this one to create a different effect. So I'm going to spray that again, because what I really want to do is make sure I've got plenty of water on my card. I'm then going to bring in some salt. So I've just got some sea salt. You can use any salt you want. I'm going to place that down in again, just so I know I've got that really wet. And then what I'm going to do is place my salt on the top. So just sprinkle in the salt. And what we can do is this will dry by the end of the show. So I'm going to leave this and then we'll show this at the end of the show. And you can see exactly how that develops. So I'm just going to grab myself a piece of kitchen towel. And we will just pop that to one side. There we go.
Okay.
So that's our first one done. So I'm going to clean this up, but when you're at home, you'll just continue to collect everything that's on here while, so you don't waste any of that ink. So I think we could possibly beat the previous show with pictures, Ben.
Producer Laura, literally, she's just said that. Laura's quite, she's very bubbly, normally quite, hey, just so happy in my ear, you know, quite chatty. And literally in this tone, she's just gone, already got 5 pictures of cats. Because I think, you know, she's hoping it's sort of, this is her proper Friday today, so I think she was hoping for an easy ride. Whenever we mention, you know, send in pictures of, you know, your pets. Basically the emails go and just fly in. So if we wanted to beat 25 pictures earlier on, we're going to do it because we've already got about 5, 6, maybe 7 pictures of cats now coming in. So keep sending those. Let's have a look at the pens again. We'll look at them all.
Right, we're going to do the same thing again, but this time we're going to actually draw onto our card. So I'm going to start with I'm going to start with the lightest colour, which is our yellow, and I'm just going to colour this onto here. And then we're going to go in with our blue pen and pop that in and colour that down. And then I'm going to use my watercolour brush just to blend those together. So we're getting that greeny blue, using that to go down. Ooh. And then I'm going to use my red onto here. Now they do dry fairly quickly, so you want to work fairly quickly just to get that to water down. But you're just getting that really beautiful ombre effect, mixing those all together. Yeah. And then what you can do is just to make that softer, we can then again get our spritzers. Have we got the spritzers on the show? I can't actually remember.
I want to say that we do have, but I might be lying there.
Right, so we're going to pop this one to one side as well. And then we're going to do what we call a sort of splodge effect.
We don't have the spritzers on the show, but you'll find them on the website, and there'll be double points for you as well. So.
Absolutely. So we will pop this on here, and then what we're going to do is I'm just going to randomly put some squiggles.
All right.
So this is a really nice way to do a background as well with just different colours. And then our pink, I'm just going to fill in the gaps.
Oh, I'm interested to see what we're doing here.
And then again, so this time we'll spray the matte.
Yeah.
And that way all our, I've got the nozzle the right way. And we did salt earlier, but what you can do as well is use things like bubble wrap, cling film, because all of those give you a different effect and different texture. Yeah. So we're just going to rub that all in there, and look at that. We get this really beautiful effect. But what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to dry it off. So I'm just going to use my heat tool. Okay. And we're just going to dry this one off, and then we're going to show a little bit of faux bleaching.
While you're drying, Crafty AJ says, Colour Me Happy is a real highlight of the week. Marilyn Pico on YouTube is saying, I have tons of CC watercolour tri-blends and classic Spectrum Noir aqua markers. I'm excited to see the technique by Debbie. She always has a different spin on things. That's the other great thing, isn't it? We've got so many of our great crafters here who always bring something different to the table. Michelle Nix for you on YouTube saying, found your project through HSN December 2019, but didn't find you on YouTube until March 2020. Live from New Jersey. Kathy C on YouTube says, evening everyone, not only did I get 2 deliveries from CC today, I also received the gorgeous card I won from Debbie's show. Thank you so much. I love it. And lots of love just generally coming in for these as well. Mariah just saying, I have these watercolour brush pens, but haven't used yet. So glad I can catch the show. Well, this is the kind of stuff that you can do.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so pleased that people are telling us that they've got their cards from the previous shows. That's great. So the other thing we can do is we can do a bit of faux bleaching. So I'm just using some water and I'm dipping my fingers in.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to flick.
Okay.
So just flicking onto the design that you've got here. The longer you leave this, the better. And what that does is it absorbs all the water. So as that's absorbing, it will start to do what we call faux bleaching. So as you bring that off, can you see we're getting this really beautiful, subtle effect in the center, just all those splashes. And then if you want more, you can just go in and you can add even more. And it's just a really fun way of creating really pretty backgrounds. And then we'll just take that off of there. So I've got one more thing that I want to show you, because let me just choose a different pen. What if I was to tell you, Ben, that you could turn every single one of your pens into an ink pad?
Oh, really?
That was a funny noise then.
Well, it sounded like the roof was going to fall in, didn't it?
Yes, so what we can do, we use a very special thing called glycerin. And we're just going to put a few little dots down on here. Now you can use the cake kind, you can use the chemist kind. So any glycerin or glycerin will work in exactly the same way. So I'm going to take my ink applicator. And we're going to, and just in case anyone's wondering why I suddenly talk very posh when I say that, I just think it's one of those words, ink applicator, that you have to say poshly.
Exactly. And we were talking about the fact the other day that I called it a dauber, and Debbie was saying, no, you can find it's an ink applicator, so that's the reason.
Yes.
Reason why. By the way, I'm excited about this. I've not seen this before.
Yes, and it's just a really great way of just making them all into an ink pad. So what I'm going to do is start off, it would help if I had a piece of paper then. Actually, you know, and I'll do this in a demo later, but this would work really well over one of our large floral stamps that we've got on the show, and you could use this over there. So I'm going to just dab into this just to make it, almost makes it sort of slippery, that's the word, and then we can pick up that ink, and then what happens, we can actually put it onto our cardstock, but look how smooth that goes on. Isn't that amazing?
So what do you usually get with that? Just glycerin, did you say? Glycerin,
just glycerin. So then I'm just going to tap, if you use too much, it becomes too slimy.
Yeah.
So just take a little bit of a time and they will blend. Look at this. Look how they blend into each other.
Yeah.
They are, honestly, it's such an amazing technique with very little value in getting the glycerin, and your pens will just do so much. And then I'm going to pick up that yellow just to do this last piece.
And of course, again, to reiterate, so the colours that you get in each pen are perfectly matched to blend with each other, aren't they? So if people are worrying again, I can't remember what goes with what, it's all in the one pen, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Yeah, you're never just going to get a mushy colour. You'll get beautiful colours, but to be able to create that ombre effect,
brilliant.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So it's just a different way of doing a design and a background using your pens, but we've actually made them into ink pads. So there you go.
Hey, I love this. I've done a few Colour Me Happy shows since I arrived here in September. It's the first time I've seen that demo, which is just brilliant. Terry just saying, I got these for Christmas, anxious to see some ways to use them. I'm not very good at colouring. Terry, I'm sure you are, firstly, and secondly, if you do feel like that, well, hopefully you've already picked up some inspiration in the first half an hour, because brilliant demos already. Becky Finity on Facebook saying, hi everyone, finally I'm able to sit down and watch my first show of today, and it's my favourite one. Lots of love for the rotating board coming in as well, by the way. Marilyn just saying, design board fan, I love it, must have it. Fran on YouTube saying, hi guys, I love watching you colour, Debbie. Mariah saying, hi, I have 2 sizes of the board and they're great. Crafty AJ, I use the design board all the time, wouldn't be without it. And Mary says, hello from Georgia, love your shows, very inspirational. I do wood burning and I think that board would be great for that. We'll talk more about the rotating board a little bit later on, because Debbie's got a crafty hack with the board. Well, it's not crafty hack, it's not to do with crafting, but she's got a hack with the board coming up in just a bit. In fact, let's have a look at that now, because a lot of people are quite anxious to find out what that is all about. So, first of all, Debbie, talk about the rotating design board and why you love it as far as craft is concerned.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about this other thing you use it for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very simple. You'll go, oh yes, that's amazing. It's just something I do at home, so it's just brilliant. The board itself is honestly so amazing because you guide it, it doesn't guide you. When we do an image and we're colouring, so let's stamp an image. So let's just pop this onto our board. First of all, you get the board dog clip, so you haven't got to worry about buying one. That comes with your board, so it securely places your card onto your board. Next, we're going to do our stamping. Because it's a nice mat to stamp onto, we can stamp directly onto it. So just how funny is that? I actually moved the whole board and not the top like I was supposed to.
Oh dear, you're not using it right.
I'm just going to get my stamping platform. We're going to pick that up and then I'm just going to use our finesse ink pad. Now I'm using the waterproof die. It says exactly what it is on the tin. So it's got the water brush, so you know you've got exactly the right ink to be able to use with these dies.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pop this over the top, making sure we've got plenty of ink on. So I can turn it, so you can turn it to ink, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we can pop it back to where we want it. And then it's just me, isn't it?
You spun your stamp the right way round. You get dizzy in a minute.
And then I had to turn the stamp. But there you go.
Lush.
So you get that. But the point is if you then come to, you want to colour. So let's colour, for instance. I want to place a little bit of colour here and a little bit of colour here. I can constantly turn that board to wherever I need it to be, and it's just amazing. And then I'm just going to get myself a little pen here. Not a pen, I'm not getting a pen at all.
Brush.
And we're just going to, bring that colour out a little bit, which is amazing.
The Decorative Floral Word Stamp Collection, Word Stamp Collection, details of that at the bottom of your screen. I'll go through the boards for that in just a little bit, but they're, big, bold sentiments, and I love the fact that you've got these gorgeous florals to colour in with as well, which is just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, which is really good. So that board itself will save you so much time in being able to rotate it. So that's the main use of it when you're using it to colour, and whatever colouring. Don't think you've got to do your watercolours on here. If you're colouring alcohol pens, whatever you do. And what I really like about it, Ben, is the height. So the height doesn't take it too far up, and it helps you rest. You actually use your wrist to turn it with, which is amazing. So at home, I play board games. So my one game we play a lot of, me and my partner play Scrabble.
I love Scrabble.
Yes. So, but the board's never the right way. You have to sort of turn to look at the words. Clip your boards to it, and it's brilliant. And so all our board games now, we just turn it round to whoever's playing, whoever's turn it is. You know, we say, oh, can you move that for me on Monopoly? You just turn the board round and you move your own counters. It's brilliant.
It is brilliant. And do you know what? I'm so glad that you've given that tip today, because you know what today's National Day is? National Puzzle Day. So if you're into
I didn't know that. Genuinely didn't know that. How amazing is that? But it's brilliant. So, and I know loads of families play board games. It's perfect for that. So for $15.99, stop the kids arguing. It's amazing.
And the fact that you've got the bulldog clip on there as well. If you've got someone in your family who gets a little bit naughty during a board game, if they're losing, they try and tip the board up. They won't be able to, because you've got the bulldog clip to keep it on the board. Yes, I love that idea.
I know. Yeah.
So good. So if you love your puzzles and your board games, and I guess things like your jigsaws as well, it's perfect. $15.99, and it's great to use in your craft as well, which is brilliant. Thank you to all of the messages coming in. Lots of people naming our cat over here, by the way, in this collection. Suggestions of Scruffy, Cat Arena, says Fred. I like that. And Sally says,
I love that, Katarina.
Katarina, do you like that?
That's brilliant. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, it could be a Katerina. And Digby, as well as the other name that we've had in there too. Let's just talk about, actually, before we quickly move on, there's one question I do want to ask you, because a couple of people have asked, and I don't want to miss these questions. So we're obviously talking about the Tricolours on this show. A few people are asking, how are they different to the Tri-Blends?
So Tri-Blends are alcohol.
Right.
They're alcohol markers, and Tricolour are watercolour markers. So depending on which ones you want, they both have the same techniques and the same things you can do. Not the same techniques, because watercolour you can add water to and different techniques, but they have the same purpose in the fact that they have a 3-colour blend.
There you go. Any more questions like that, please do get them in. I know we've got more coming in as we head through the show. Other things which you might want to take into consideration are the sparkle pens. These are always very, very popular indeed. We've got 3 different colours available for you. So you've got your metallics, you've got your perfect pastels, and then you've also got with these your glitz and glamour too. So you're going to get 3 of the pens within each of the sets. They're gorgeous because basically you've got the ability to get these back, prime them, off you go. You've got a gorgeous brush nib with these, and they do exactly what they say on the tin, really. The ability for you to add loads of beautiful sparkle to all of your projects. Great for kind of doing your backgrounds with as well, or even if you just wanted to get these, as I say, to add just a little bit of embellishment to your projects. They're really, really perfect for doing that. So whichever one you want to go for, your metallics, your glitz and glamour, or your perfect pastels, they are $12.99 and double points on these as well. Let's go back over to Debbie to have a look. Are we going to have a look at these in action?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to bring in some sparkle pens to this as well. So we're going to use in both, but I'm going to show you how we can do a background with our sparkle pens, then colour with our actual Tri-Blend pens. So I've put my stamp. I'm using the watercolour one, which is, trying to see if I've got my packet to hand, Let Love Grow.
Yes.
So again, I'm using my, I'm using Flagstone. I quite like the, I don't know which, have we got a colour one on anywhere? But I'm using the Flagstone one because it's the one for me that is, it's below the black, so it doesn't give such a harsh line.
Yeah.
But it's just a really nice effect, this one. So popping this onto my stamping platform.
There you go. Flagstone details bottom of your screen. We've also got Pebble and Noir Black on the show as well, if you want to search for those. Whichever tickles your fancy, really. $4.99 or $7.49.
So we can see that's coloured that beautifully. Sorry, Ben, did I interrupt you?
No, you crack on, it's fine.
So the other thing I've done is I've just used a thinner piece of cardstock and I've drawn around, I haven't drawn around it, I've cut around it.
Yeah.
Because what that's given me is a mask. Now I've used our stick and spray on here. You could, if you haven't got stick and spray, then you can use your mask, but I would say use that blending technique with the glycerin, because then it wouldn't be so wet over the actual mask. And I'm just going to place that over the top there and just following that. I'm just going to make sure I'm following that bottom line. There we go. That way I can mask completely over my image. Then it leaves a free space for me to not worry too much about what's underneath. So I've got my 2 colours here. So I think it's the amethyst and the aquamarine.
Yeah.
So I haven't, it just goes to show if you don't shake your pens then. I didn't shake my pens, and I'm
shake it to wake it, haven't you?
I have to shake it to wake it. I've just looked on there, and that's got no glitter in it. It's because I've just picked my pens up out of my bag. So I'm just going to give them a bit of a shake because, as Ben says, you shake them to wake them, and it means all the glitter.
Is there a special way to, I'm shaking it up, look. Is there a special way to store them as well? A lot of people ask for the sparkle pens.
Not at all. The sparkle pens don't need to be stored any way at all. So I keep them in my, I can't remember what my buddy bag's called. I've started learning to put the names in the bottom, but I haven't on this one. But it is one of the little buddy bags, and I keep my sparkle pens in them because it doesn't matter which way round, up, right, down, because as soon as you shake them, the liquid is already in there. It's just the ultrafine glitter that sinks to the bottom. So even if you have it stored that way, it's just going to lay down there. If you store it that way, it's going to lay at the bottom. But it really is ultrafine. So after a little shake, you'll then be able to, I'm just going to squeeze up. That's better. I can see glitter coming out now.
Look at that.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it? And then I'm just going to also squeeze my blue out there, and you can see that really ultra fine glitter. So next I'm going to take my, I believe we've got the Royal and Langnickel.
Royal and Langnickel, yes, we do.
Yes, Royal and Langnickel. We've got them on the show. I don't want too wet a brush because I don't want to really seep underneath. But what we're going to do to start with is I'm going to start with the blue, and we're going to work it in from the top over the top. So
is this the easiest way to do, I suppose for doing backgrounds, this is the easiest way then to be able to just take a small amount of it, pop it on your glass mat and then and get the brushes, because it's funny, isn't it? You said it earlier on with the Tricolours, and now with these, they're pens, but we're not using them as pens really, are we?
No, we're not using them as pens. No, not at all. It's using them in completely different ways. So I'm just making sure I'm going round that image. So we did have some masking tape on, masking gum. So it's like a gum.
Not no
but
more though.
Unfortunately, it's sold out. Yes,
all gone.
so it's all gone. So I'm just going to use the rest of this just to go down to the bottom. Oh, not that I need the bottom, I'm just doing it on the top. So there we go. So just doing that over, and that's giving us that beautiful ombre effect. So before I lift my image, I'm just going to dry that off a little bit. So we'll just dry that off, and the more that this dries, the more the sparkle then shines through.
Loads of love coming in for your glycerin technique, by the way. There's a couple of questions on that which I will fire at you in just a little while, actually, to do with the glycerin. And loads of people as well loving the rotating board hack. Mary Kay Knoll saying, I have the rotating board too and love it. Of course, what don't I love about CC products? And Mary also saying, I never thought of using that with our board games. My granddaughter will love that. Grandma's going to be a superstar when she comes over.
She will, absolutely.
Next time. A terrific use for the rotating board, Debbie, as well, says Tammy. I'm definitely going to do that. Definitely going to do that.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Look at this.
So there you go. So you pull your mask off, and I can just see I've snipped off a couple of little bits which I've missed off on there, but that's not going to matter. You'll excuse that. But that gives us a complete mask for then to do our layered thing. But it looks like we've got that beautiful background, and even just like that really makes it pop off the page, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring in my rotating board, and we're going to place that on here because then we can do a bit of colouring to our main image. So I'm going to bring my pens in, and let's just pick a couple out of here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm trying to find my yellow in there. So we're going to use the yellow to start with. So I'm going to use my smaller paintbrush. I'm just bringing in my little pot of water.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring in a kitchen towel as well. So have plenty of kitchen towel when you're doing this, just to mop up, to be able to dab your paintbrush on. It just really helps. And also just holding it onto the side is really useful as well. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, take this little piece here, and we're just going to start to work in our colour.
Still lots of love coming in for the use of the rotating board. Can I ask you the questions about the glycerin now before I forget?
Yes.
Yes. So Judy wants to know how long it takes the glycerin to dry, and then we've also got Becky saying, can you use the glycerin technique with any of the other markers?
Yeah, all of them. You can't, only watercolour markers.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with the alcohol ones.
And how long does it take to dry?
I don't think it takes long to dry. I mean, I've got it here. Yes, I mean, it's completely dry. How long ago was that? 5 minutes? Yeah, so literally minutes to dry. Oh, I'm just going to bring this in. Look for a sneaky peek. Look how amazing that's starting to look.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's like coral.
It does look like coral. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? I just spotted how nice it is. In fact, they're all coming along nicely. Now this one's drying. It's starting to get that beautiful effect. So lots of beautiful things. So so I'm just adding this colour in. So we're just doing to our watering can.
Loads of people, just to talk about the glycerin technique again, commenting about that. Love the background, says Treasure Heart. And wow, says Claire, I have no idea how I've not seen this technique before. Thank you, Debbie. Well, it's the first time I've seen it, and I've been here for September, October, November. 5 months. Yeah, 5 months. That's 2 things in the last 2 days that you showed me that I've not seen before.
Yes, you were wowed with my stencils yesterday, weren't you, Ben?
With your stencil wiping.
Washing them. Washing the stencils,
Did you know about that one, Laura? Debbie's stencil wash technique, where she uses the waste to create a
watercolour effect, yeah.
I've never seen that before. She's just pulling out all the stops, you see. Brilliant.
We try, don't we? We try.
It is nice to see new demos and new ideas. And actually, for those of you who are brand new, talking about newbies, do feel free to say hello this afternoon. I know we've got lots of new people watching all the time, particularly start of a new year, people starting new hobbies. If you've just tuned into us here at Crafters TV, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you've bought anything crafty yet, what it is you bought, what was your first purchase. Actually, as well, that would be really interesting to know from all of our regulars as well. What's the first thing that you purchased from us here at Crafters Companion? And have you got it out of the box yet? We hear that so many times, don't we? You know, you buy something and it's not until like the show's featured that you actually have the courage to get out of the box and have a go with it. But hopefully that is not the case. And also, as we said, if you are loving Colour Me Happy, particularly these Tricolour markers as well, show us what you've been up to with them. We would love to see your photos of all of your projects and cards. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We'll show those a little bit later on, along with lots of pictures of cats as well. Just on that note, the name's still coming in for the cat from our Spectrum Noir stamp collection. Hobson or Dudley, this is Sam.
Oh, I love Dudley.
Dudley the cat.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And Suzette Suze on Facebook says, Constantine, was that Constantine?
Constantine, yeah, I like that too.
Constantine the cat. They're all good. They're all good names. They're all good names. Have you got any pets?
I only have a little dog now. We used to have loads of pets.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, unfortunately. And we've had them for years, but you get to the stage where you sort of think, I'm travelling so much and you don't want to sort of have any more. But I've got a little Shih Tzu called Tia.
Aww.
But she's very old. And but I used to have a bearded dragon called Marley.
Had a what?
And
A
yeah.
what?
Sorry, a real one.
A what?
A bearded dragon.
Is it like a lizard?
Yeah, a lizard. Yeah. Yes.
Bearded dragon, otherwise known as, or commonly confused with, an
iguana.
Iguana.
Iguana. Yeah, I was going to get an iguana, but they grow quite big.
And don't like a bearded dragon sounds to me like that could be, because it's a dragon.
Yeah, it does look a bit like a dragon.
How big do they grow then?
Oh, not very big. My one was quite small. Marley was quite small. I mean, we had him for 12 years. Yeah, so a long time. So yeah, so he grew old. We had I've had two rabbits. So yeah, two rabbits which were called Buddy and Bella.
Oh yeah.
So, and Buddy was, I don't know if they still do it. My daughter used to watch a program called Cake Boss. And Buddy was the main chef on there. Yeah, the man that owned it was called Buddy. And my daughter was obsessed, so she called her rabbit Buddy. And I called the other one Bella because I'm obsessed with the vampire films, Twilight. And so, yeah, Bella and Buddy, they were called. And then we had guinea pigs. We've had guinea pigs. I had two German shepherds, Mason and Kelsey. They both lived to 13 years old. Yeah, so yeah.
So you had a Shih Tzu and a full-on zoo.
And we had a Shih Tzu with the German shepherds. Yeah, Shih Tzu with the German shepherds.
Oh, that is brilliant! I just love all the different animals that you've had. I mean, what a mix of different animals.
Yeah, we've had
always had cats, always dogs, but you've had everything.
I'm just a total animal lover. Yeah, the only thing I don't like is snakes.
Oh, really?
I just do not like snakes. Yeah, when my son moved out, he was obsessed with snakes and bought a snake, and I just could not go nowhere near it. It's the only thing that I don't like.
You don't mind like lizards and stuff?
Oh, the lizards are lovely. Marley was he'd sit on your shoulder. Yeah, he was so lovely. Yeah, really. They're just, and they haven't got no teeth. So, yeah, bearded dragons don't have any teeth, so they can't bite you.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do they eat then?
Well, you can buy food for them, but they eat dandelions, grated carrot, cucumber, yeah, anything like that.
You have to mash it up for them though, because they can't.
Yeah, his tongue comes out. Yeah, just. Just the tongue comes out, and yeah, and he'll kiss you with his tongue.
What?
Let's look at the lovely cards. This is my finished card, Ben. One I made earlier. We'll ask about your pets soon.
Nowhere near as interesting as yours.
Beautiful background, and then being able to use your pens to colour that in, and then just creating a really pretty card.
Wow. Learn something new every day. I love hearing the background of, you know, all of our crafters' stories and sort of delving into their personal lives. The things that you learn, eh? The things that you learn. Brilliant. Should we have a quick look at the boards for the Tricolours? Because we've seen so many cool techniques. The Spectrum Noir sparkle pens we love. These Tricolours though, so handy to have. And as we've seen, lots of different ways to use them already. And actually, isn't it hilarious that, you know, they're called Tricolour markers, so you look at them as if they are pens. And of course, you can use them as such should you wish. But lots of ways to be able to use these, you know, by popping them down, to use them as backgrounds, to use them straight off your mat. All these different techniques that you can do using your water is fantastic. So this is the basics. So you get the warm primary, the cool primary and the complementary. And as you can see within each pen, the 3 compartments, you've got flame red, sunflower and marine in your warms. You've got rose red, daffodil and azure blue in your cool. And then amber, apple, alpine green and orchid in your complementary. And as you can see, the colours blend absolutely beautifully. This is what I was meaning. If you were thinking about getting these and going, oh, well, I can't remember what blends with what, it's all been done for you because they're all beautifully blended in each of the pens. So you've got your bright floral, your warm fiery and your fresh verdant just there. Then next up is your essential neutrals, which is your earthy neutral. You've got your rich neutral and your grey neutral, and again you can see how all of the different colour blends work for you. And then finally your great outdoors, which is botanical, natural, cool marine and your rich floral. So 3 colours within one pen, giving you that blend. Loads of techniques, as we've already seen, that you can use your Tricolour Aquas for. And not only that, today for £38 or $57, you also get your storage case absolutely free. So if you want a way to be able to keep these nice and neat and tidy, if you want a way to be able to keep all of these in one place, then you've got the ability to do that nice and easily for £38 or $57. Double points, of course, don't forget to, if you are brand new to us, when you shop, when you join up in Club Inspire, if you've not already done that, if you head to our website, click on the Club Inspire logo, which you'll see at the top of the page, fill out a couple of details, it literally take you a couple of minutes at most, and then you'll be able to get in and join the club. It's absolutely free to do it. And then of course, when you shop with us, for every £1 you spend, you earn a point. But then with double points, guess what? You got it, yes, double points. So it's 2 points. And this is our little list here of basically how it all works when you kind of move up the ranks, as it were. So you start off as a bronze member. And I think that the first time you shop with us, you get 250 points. So pretty much straight away, you go into bronze, and very quickly, from 5% off, you can then move up to silver, which is 500 points, all right? So when you're in the silver bracket, you're then getting 10% off. Then, as we move up to gold here, which is 750 points, you get 15% off, which is amazing. And then straight away, you go from that to 1,500 points. That is where you get 20% off. And that's where we hear of people who then go on and continue to shop and they become double platinum or triple platinum. And the great thing is that then rolls over into the following year. So we've got loads of people who reach platinum status and then stay there because they just continue to shop with us. So if you take this into consideration just here, nobody ever pays that price here, because even if you're down here, you never pay this price because you're always getting that 5% off that. I always quote the 20% code because I know there's so many of you who are 20%, and it's easier to work out 20% from that off of that. But good, that, isn't it? Completely thrown off my pattern. What am I doing now? Oh yeah, stamps. I like it when the things pop up and we can point to them. See, they're not really there. You see, there's nothing there. Look. It's magic of TV. Ooh. Anyway, let's move on and have a look at the glitter marker stamp collection with 23 elements included. These are gorge. Straight away, if you have got kids of a certain age and you make them a project, whether it's a piece of home decor or a card with a unicorn on, I know they will absolutely love it. Still in my household with my 9-year-old daughter, it is fairies, it is mermaids, it is unicorns. And how amazing is that? Think about using your sparkle pens with these. Think about how beautiful this would be using your tricolours as well. And I love the fact that you've got some gorgeous sentiments to go with it as well. Believe in magic. Unicorn is a friend can't read it upside down. Be a unicorn in a field full of horses. There we go. Don't worry, everybody. I'm getting my varifocals in just a couple of weeks. Then we've got your Make-A-Wish again, which is all beautiful toadstools. Love those again. Great, as we've said, for colouring big stamps, big bold images for you to be able to get into. With a little fairy dust, of course, that gorgeous fairy. All it takes is love, trust, and a little fairy dust. Next up is our beautiful friend. There we go, you see. So if you've got kids or grandkids like mine who love their mermaids and the unicorns and the fairies, it's all taken care of in this kit. Gorgeous images of that mermaid there. Hello, beautiful friend, is one of the sentiments. Then you've got the You Are Amazing with, I want to say that little pixie is looking a little bit mischievous. He looks a little bit like he could be up to no good there. But thinking of you and You Are Amazing are the sentiments that you're going to get there. And this one is so sweet as well. Once Upon a Time is that gorgeous fairy door. And again, look at all of the detailing and the stamped image that you're going to get. You're going to have a lot of fun getting your pens into that. And then we are back to the unicorn. So it's 23 elements in total in a wonderful collection, which ties in perfectly with all of the pens that we've got for you on the show. Again, imagine getting your sparkle pens in on that mermaid stamp. Absolutely gorgeous. $31.96 or $39.80 for that full collection, saving $15.99 or $19.90, and double points as well, don't forget. So plenty of reasons to shop. Right, let us head over the other side of the studio where we're shaking it, and we're getting ready for our next demo. What are you going to show us, Debbie?
Right, so we're switching to this beautiful fairy. She is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to stamp her out. I always like to stamp because I think it shows you how well they stamp and how much detail is in these stamps. Stamps have come a long way, I think. They just have this beautiful, sort of really fine edge about them. I remember stamps when I first started were quite thick, and you used to have areas that just wouldn't stamp, and you'd constantly, and you can't then go back over them. And then we have things like the stamping platform, where if it misses a bit, we know we can go down. Like here, I feel like I didn't put enough stamp, so enough ink, so I can just go in the bottom there and just give that one more little stamp, and know with precision that will stamp that down, and I'll get that completely coming out, which is beautiful. So then what I've done, I can leave that on there. I've then trimmed my design down, so we've got a smaller image so we can create a card with her. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm bringing in two of my pens, one from the Glitz and Glamour range, and then I've got one from the Perfect Pastels. And what we're going to do is just very, very slightly, so I'm going to bring my board back in here, my rotating board, and just pop that onto the end. That way I can then bring my pens in. Now I'm just going to really slightly, all we're going to do is dab just a small piece of colour. I mean, you can see how tiny that colour is.
Yeah.
And look at the point on there, Ben. You can really get into all those details. I'm not going to put any more than that in. Then I'm going to bring in my lightest colour, and we're just going to pull that out. So even though I'm using a completely different colour, I'm still able to pull that out. I'm going to bring in a piece of tissue just to dab that on, because I don't want to take too much away of the beautiful pink. And then can you see we're starting to get that beautiful ombre effect? So we can then bring it down and doing that shading, going from that dark to that beautiful pink underneath until we get to that real pink design. I mean, it's just such a lovely way and therapeutic way of just bringing your colours to life. Now, if we want to bring a bit more, we can still go back into there and just bring that purple a little bit more down. And it's just, it looks beautiful. And then we can do the same with our arm, just going in, picking up that purple, bringing that down. You can just wipe it at the side. It's not going to contaminate your brush, so you don't have to worry about that, but what it will do is enable you to get a real beautiful ombre effect.
It's so relaxing, isn't it? And there's been a lot of chat recently about kind of mental health and mindfulness, particularly during this current time. And I think lots of people are turning to hobbies like this, particularly colouring, you know, for helping them through sort of tough situations. My sister, she's not a crafter really, but one of the things that she does do is she's got one of those colouring books. and she carries some pens around with her, and literally at times when she's feeling a little bit stressed or anxious, or she just wants to kind of chill out, she gets a colouring book out and colours. It's a really, really sort of de-stressing craft, isn't it, colouring?
You know what it is, Ben? You forget how much you love colouring, because as you get to adulthood, you don't colour so much unless you're going into that side of things, because everybody can colour. This is what I always say, everybody learns to colour from a young age. I have an 18-month-old granddaughter, and she colours using obviously crowns. So from a really young age, we're giving crowns, we're giving chalks, we're giving so many different colour mediums. And then through school, you do more colouring. You then learn how more to colour between the lines, and then you go on to drawing if you're good with being able to do drawing, which is fabulous. The other thing and then we forget, and then we don't then colour, do we? The other thing we can do, I'm just bringing in a little mixing palette here now to get her skin tone, because the thing is with skin tones, you don't always get the skin tone that you perhaps want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Desert in one of my middle pens, and then I'm going to use Daffodil. So just giving a little tone, and then I do want to just pop a tiny bit of red in there, and all I'm going to do is bring in my brush, and we're just going to mix those colours, and then what that will do, that will give me a skin effect.
Brilliant.
So if you wanted to do more, so you want that colour, but it goes a long way. So as we start to, and it will dry lighter, so it will give you that really nice toned down skin tone.
Yeah.
And it's just learning your colours that you have and what you've got, and how to use them to get those beautiful tones.
And that's it, isn't it, with these? Because a lot of people I hear, when it comes to kind of colouring and painting, skin colour, hair colour can be really difficult to get the exact blend and the exact tone that you want, but that's what you've got the opportunity to do with these, isn't it? It's really helpful.
Yeah, you've got unique colours. So, and actually you don't even need a paint palette, you could just use your glass mat.
Yeah.
So, but you can see, and as that's drying, we've got the perfect skin tone for her.
It's amazing.
So just going in, doing the rest of her. Oh, I've just painted her dress, they're just seeing that that's her dress.
The other thing to say as well, just hearing that next week, talking about mindfulness and mental health, next week apparently is National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. So again, this is the kind of thing we've been chatting a lot recently, and I think it's on a lot of people's minds, isn't it? You know, during lockdown, homeschooling, you know, whether you're looking after your own children, maybe your grandparent helping out, whatever it might be, it is really tough for everybody, you know, at the minute. And actually, the whole homeschooling thing can be quite tough, and the kids can get quite stressed out with it because they've got lots of work to do. You can get quite stressed out because you're trying to do 1,000,001 things as well. It's nice to be able to have things like this to be able to do with the kids when you still want to almost be educating them and teaching them, but you want to kind of just break away from, you know, doing all of the kind of school stuff. This would be, again, be absolutely perfect. And you know straight off the bat that kids love to colour. So this is the kind of thing, and especially with these images as well, these stamps, you know, the kids are just going to absolutely love it. You know, even may well be, if you don't want them to use your Tricolours or your sparkle pens, whatever it might be, they might have their own felt tips they can use. You can stamp some images out and just get everybody round having some fun. And of course, you can teach them all of the little techniques should you want to do it as well, like the palette blending, for example. So obviously, yeah, they're not going to be picking up the pens and wrecking them. So you can kind of do some homeschooling of your own, something a little bit more fun maybe. Yeah,
totally. And it is exactly, our producer Laura just said that's what Sarah does with the boys, and that's exactly what she does with them, because it really is just something amazing that you can do with the kids. And I know we keep saying about the homeschooling, but it is something that we have to be so mindful of, don't we, in this day and age. So I'm just switching. I thought I had it to hand, it's just here. I'm just going to bring in my clear sparkle pen, and I'm just going to help to spread that out. So even though we've got our beautiful blue there, I don't want to make her wings so vivid. So just bringing that in.
Just whilst you're colouring, can I just ask you a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
So don't stop. Laura has said, Debbie, with either watercolour or stamping card, is there a right or wrong side? Like, is the stamp card shiny on the one side, or does it not matter which side to stamp or colour?
On watercolour card, doesn't matter. Same,
right.
exactly the same, both sides.
And stamping card?
Exactly the same.
Oh, exactly the same.
Exactly the same,
that's,
yep.
that's good to know.
Yeah,
So that one's answered
absolutely.
for you, Laura. And Carol, just talking about your last demo with the masking. So Carol says, can I ask a question, please? Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
I used the masking paint. I left it overnight, but no matter what I did, I couldn't get it off. In fact, it ripped the paper.
The only thing I can think, I've never left a masking tape for a long period of time. So I actually don't know the answer to if it can be left that long. So maybe it's embedded into the cardstock, which is then more difficult to get off. What I would say is get yourself a good rubber, because if you use a rubber that will come off, but if you use it straight away, because drawing gum doesn't need to be left for very long, so I would say 5 minutes maximum.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so you can do your design work straight after and then rub it off. Don't think because you've put it on you need to leave it 24 hours to set or to stay. I would say if you're going to use it, do it straight away. The whole effect of drawing gum is to do it so you can get your colouring backgrounds done, then you can rub it off and then you do the actual work, the colouring itself. So I think it's maybe just left too long.
All right, hopefully that's helpful for you, Carol. How are you getting on over there? Is that almost done?
Yeah, so I've more or less done my image. I'm going to bring in my finished card so you can see. She looks beautiful. We've done her ombre wings there. And it's just the fact that we could do this with her dress and bring all that glitter down, which looks amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. One thing I didn't mention, of course, as well, we're still doing it in the show, aren't we? Voting for our favourite demo of the show. So just keep a little check in your mind of the demos that you've seen so far, and we will recap around about 40 minutes or so, recap on some of the demos that Debbie has done over the course of the show, and we'll get your favourite one up on our Crafty Walk of Fame. We've got some lovely chat going on today. I forgot about all of the kind of crafty topics which we've been talking about. Loads of people are still naming our cat from our Spectre Noir stamp collection. Rainbow would be great for an artistic cat, says Tracy Gukak. I like that, Rainbow. Name for the Name for the cat, says V. Cleo. That's good, I like Cleo. And Hannah Law Furnace on Facebook. So we've been asking you as well about what was your first purchase that you made here at Crafters Companion. Hannah Law says, first CC purchase was at HSN, the Downton Abbey card kit. Still get chills when I look at the leftovers. Terry on YouTube says, my first CC purchase was my Gemini Junior. Then I was hooked. Dies, stamps, paper, and it never stops. Lynn Harvey on Facebook saying, I've been watching CC demos for years on various channels, and it's amazing what things you forget to do until one of the professional crafters like Debbie show them again. I'm like that, honestly. I mean, it may well be that the technique that Debbie's been showing, maybe I have seen them before, but I honestly literally can't remember what I had for dinner last night, so let alone something which happened 3 weeks ago or a month ago. I think that's why I'm constantly amazed at how great all of the demos are, because it's like I'm seeing them for the first time. Desert Dweller on YouTube saying, my first CC purchase was Aqua tint brush pens from HSN. These are brilliant. I love all these. Funny out what you first bought. And Louise Harris on Facebook. First purchase, Ultimate Pro, 10 plus years ago. Next, the original Spectrum Noir classic alcohol markers. Then lockdown hit, and now I'm multiple platinum and cannot stop myself. And Becky just saying on Facebook, oh, I'm going back many years. My first purchase, I don't know what this is, was the SWALK stamp range. And Swalk.
Sealed with a loving kiss.
Oh, sealed with a loving kiss.
Yeah, it was. I remember that one as well.
CD-ROM.
CD-ROM. Well, that's where that's what happened as soon as the envelope box, we then become CD-ROM people.
Yeah.
We didn't bring dies in for a long time. So, yeah. In fact, a little bit of history about Crafters Companion. We started off with the envelope box, the Ultimate Pro, and then CD Crafting. And we had two design teams. There was a design team for Crafters Companion, and then we had a whole different brand called Dizaya. So it was D-I-E, Azaya, and it was Dizaya, and we had a different design team for that. So I was on the Crafters Companion design team, and then got asked if I wanted to dabble in some dies, and I got just totally hooked from there. I've never stopped die cutting since. So, but now they've merged it together, and then once the Gemini evolved, we then put the dies to the Gemini name, and now we have the Gemini dies.
It's so awesome to hear all this history, because as I say, I only really kind of got into the crafty world about 5 years ago, and do you know all of the things that we have now, like dies and stamps and die cutting machines and all these kind of things, I've just always assumed that they've always been there. But it's amazing to hear, like, even in the last sort of, what, 5 to 10 years, how craft has evolved. It's really come on, hasn't it? And like everyone's into it now.
Yeah, so much so. I mean, even things from decoupage, we used to have to cut out all our own decoupage. And then we suddenly had decoupage that was sort of cut, perforated, so you could just pop it out. And now we have dies to cut the decoupage. So it evolves all the time.
It's ever evolving, and it's crazy to think, isn't it? I wonder what we'll be doing, what crafting will look like in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, if you're shopping with us here at Crafters Companion, you know, who knows what will be coming out next? Who knows what we'll be bringing you in the next 5 years? It's amazing. And it's amazing to think as well, when you look at this show, Colour Me Happy, I was chatting to producer Laura just before the show, one of the kind of like original shows this, wasn't it? And one of the original shows where, you know, that kind of feedback and interactivity came because you were sending in all of your pictures, and this one has kind of been like the blueprint for lots of the other shows that we bring you now here on Crafters TV. So it's amazing just to be part of it all, and great that we've got all of these different shows, and it's great to hear like all of your comments coming in, and we love the interactivity. Do you know what? The amount of people who've said, particularly over the last few days, that one of the main reasons they shop with us is the fact that they can get all of the awesome stuff, but then once they've got all of the awesome stuff, they don't feel like they're left on their own, because they've got all of these live shows where, you know, you can ask your questions and we can answer them. You've got all of the tutorials that you can go back to on YouTube and Facebook. You've got all of these shows are just there like forever. So if you're ever stuck, there's so much there for inspiration and demonstration and tutorial. And I think, well, I know, because you've been telling us, that's why you love this channel so much. Special place, isn't it? We love it here. We love it here. And I tell you what, with about 50 minutes to go, I want to recap on the main deal that we've got on the show for you, your Tricolour markers. This is a brilliant collection, and if you have just joined us and if you're wondering all about them, what they do, why you might want them in your life, we are going to recap on the full range and all of the different ways that you can use these. But basically, if you're wanting to be able to create sort of watercolour effects and blendability with your colouring, then these are absolutely perfect for doing it. You're going to get 4 sets, so you're getting 3 pens within each, but what you've got is the ability to blend all of the different colours within one pen. So again, if you're one of those people and you're not quite sure what colour goes where, how it all blends, how it's going to look, it's all been done for you, because within the Great Outdoors collection, for example, which you're getting within this set, you've got Botanical Natural, Cool Marine and your Rich Floral, and the 3 different colours within each pen for you to be able to create that perfect blend. You've then got your colour basics, so once again, 3 pens, 3 colours within each, your warm primary, your cool primary and your complementary. Then you've got your floral meadow. So once again, you can see the bright floral, that rose pink, the jasmine and the tulip just blend absolutely gorgeously. Your warm fiery gold, your crimson and sunset. Again, look how beautiful that looks. And then you've got your fresh verdant also with that set. And then last but by no means least, your essential neutrals. So your earthy neutral, your rich neutral and your grey neutral. And again, you can see the perfect blends that you get within each pen. So you've got 12 pens, but then realistically you've got kind of 36 colours there, and for free we are chucking in, well, we're not chucking in, we're handing over very nicely your storage as well, your marker wallet. So you've got all the elasticated pieces there to be able to pop your markers in, keep them nice and safe, store away quite nicely, and of course when you can get out and about once again, you have got the ability to take that with you and keep it all there for you nice and neat. £38 or $57, saving $13.95 or $19.75. And then of course, if you are a platinum member, another 20% off. And look at that, double points right across this show, right across Craft Vault a little bit later on, and right across the weekend on the website as well. It's right up until the end of play on Sunday that you can get double points. So a brilliant time to get shopping. If you have just joined us, we are looking for your comments, please, on Facebook and YouTube. There's loads of, I mean, you'll pick up on all the stuff that we've been chatting about on this show. I lose track because there's been so much going on. Facebook and YouTube. Any questions you've got, please ask them. If you're a newbie and you've got a question you think, oh, I don't want to ask it, it's silly, ask it. Honestly, we've gone right back to basics. Well, basically, there are no silly questions, but we've gone right back to basics with some of the questions that we've had today, and it's been great. It has been absolutely great. So get those in, Keep sending in your pictures as well, because we want to see what you've been up to. If you've been sending in pictures of your cats too, thank you for that. We'll have a look at those before the end of the show. But let's go back, Debbie. For anyone who's just joined us, they're just tuning in to Colour Me Happy for the first time, and they're looking at these Tricolour markers. And indeed, for people who've watched before and they get a little bit confused about all the different pens that we've got, why might we want these Tricolour markers, and what can we do with them?
So for me, a watercolour pen is the easiest pen that you can use because it's very forgiving. It's not hard to blend them, where an alcohol pen you have to learn how to blend them, and you learn which colours to blend with. With a watercolour pen, it means that you've got all these different ways that you can use it. Now, what these Tricolour pens do, they give you 3 nibs in one. So if I take off the first one, look in the middle one, and then the end one, you can see I've got 3 different colours. Now, it's the first time ever we have put a pen with 3 different colours. Normally what we call is the 3 colour blend. You have, so if it was a pink, so this is rose pink, we would have 3 pinks that blend into one.
Yeah.
But this one, we've got this sort of rose, which is pretty more like a red and a yellow, and the tulip pink there. We've got 3 different colours. What this has done is enabled you to know that these 3 colours are going to work really well together. So when they are blended together, they won't look like mud. So what I'm going to do is show you straight away. We're just going to colour onto our mat, and I'm just going to colour randomly onto here. Just little squiggles just around the mat, and then I'm going to use the yellow in the middle, and we can just fill in some of the gaps. And then I'm going to use that beautiful pink. Now, I know that I don't have to worry about these colours. I know I don't have to worry that when they're blended together, they're just going to make an awful mess.
Yeah.
They will make a mess, but they'll make a nice mess. Is there such thing as a nice mess? I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to spray with water. Now, some people spray their cards, so you can either spray onto your watercolour card, but I like to spray onto my mat. It gives me more control of seeing where the water lies, and then I can just take this and pop this over the top and pick that up, and then we can just get those beautiful colours giving us a really gorgeous tone there. And if we wanted to put it in at a different angle, we can, and all that will do is keep building up colour on there, and then we can just pop it back in. So all the time just building up that colour. So I'm just going to put this to the side and let it dry, and then we'll do some faux bleaching. This colour here, spritz it again and keep going and picking up that water, but just for demo purposes we're going to pop that to the side. But you don't need to waste any of that because it will be for all your different creations. Just keep picking up that until you've got all the desired look that you want. You might even want to add another colour into it, which would look really lovely. So popping that to one side, getting another piece of card. Now if you wanted to paint onto here, I'm just going to grab myself a bit of kitchen towel because I just want to wipe the wetness away. So just wipe that, because what you don't want to do ever is dip your pen nib into water.
Right.
So because all that's going to do is dilute the ink that's already in there. So if I have a wet mat and I scribble onto there, all I'm doing is picking up water, so I'm diluting. A little bit is not going to make much difference, but I just like to keep it completely just with the ink. So this time we used, was this the pen we used before? I think it was. Let's use a completely different colour. Let's go for our greens. So we might want to create a greenery background for our stamps. So this time I'm going to pop my colour here, and then I'll colour in the centre. So these are all colours that we know. I mean, these are all from the green family, but they're very different colours. And then our darkest colour, we've got, oh, is that the same? I think I might have done the same. Yeah, I've done the same colour there. And then we've got our different green. So scribbling them on. Then what I'm going to do is spritz my card. So spritz onto the card, and then I'm going to pick up with my large brush. We're going to pick up this ink. So I'm just going to wet my paintbrush. So pick up that first one and just take that. And then we're going to just apply this. So this gives quite a wash down effect. It just has a really nice blending effect just to be able to go along that card. Yeah. Then I'm going to pick up the next one, and we're going to start to blend that in. So this gives a really beautiful ombre effect. And then we're going to bring in this third one, our third colour, and then bring that green in.
Just brilliant.
I mean, look how amazing that looks. So we've got that beautiful ombre effect, and you could then go in again and we could just still pick that up if we wanted to put a bit more on there because we wanted a bit more green. You can still just build that up and it just gives that really gorgeous ombre colour. So then what I'm going to do, now we did it in the last one, hopefully this one will be finished. I'm going to spray some water onto my card because I want to make that quite wet, and then I'm going to bring in some salt. So anyone that didn't see it earlier, I'm going to bring in our finished one, but we're going to do another one just to see the difference in the colours. And then we'll just sprinkle this all on.
That's a cool demo. I love this.
Yeah, it's a really good effect, isn't it? So let me clean up this one. And I'm going to show you now the one that we had before. So let's bring in the purple one that we did. So this the one we did at the beginning of the hour.
Wow.
And then what I'm going to do is take all this salt off.
Yeah.
And underneath you get this beautiful, and another little tip, this is all coloured salt now. So you could use this for your shaker cards.
Love that
idea. So yeah, really nice. But look at, also mucky hands, I've got my mucky fingers over there. But look how stunning that is. It's almost like a coral reef, and you're going to get different effects every single time you do it. And that is just by doing this same effect that we did here, where we put the salt on top, and then it becomes a really beautiful effect. So let's pop that to the side. The other thing we spoke about is turning our turning our pens into ink pads.
Yeah.
And that's quite an amazing thing to do. But what I am going to do this time, we've already stamped one of our images that we had. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. So I'm going to use that to just go over. So what I'm going to do is use one of our pens. So let's grab our pens here. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pens just to pop some colour onto my mat. Your glass mat, if you haven't got a glass mat, it's a great thing to get for your crafty stash. Keep putting the same colour on. There we go. So just scribbling that onto our mats. Okay. This time what I am going to use is some glycerin. So you can use vegetable glycerin, you can use glycerin from the chemist. You don't need a lot of it, just a little dab. It's going to last you a long, long time. Then what I'm going to do is go in with my ink applicator, and we're going to pop our... we're just going to soak it up. Now we don't want it too wet, that's why you only need a small little piece. And then we're just going to pick up that colour. And this colour then is going to blend beautifully around here. So just picking that up, making sure we get that blended over. And this colour, I mean, that goes a long way from the small piece of colour that we had. Then I'm going to go into that next colour again, building up that just a little bit of glycerin, and then taking that beautiful red, and then we're going to come in from this side and just blend in. And then the great thing about it, the glycerin really helps the pens to slide. But it means with stencils, we've had stencils on the show this morning, we've got them back on Craft Vault later on. This would be a great one for your stencils. So just using that. Then what I'm going to do, I just wanted to grab myself a piece of kitchen towel to lean on, otherwise I'll get all my mucky fingerprints. And then I'm going to take some more glycerin to pick up then that last piece of colour. And we're just going to go into that side there, and then just fill this colour here. So we get that sort of ombre effect.
That's brilliant.
I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love the fact when you're doing these kind of techniques, you almost always, you get like a different, they're always going to be slightly different, aren't they? That's what I love about them.
Oh, absolutely.
Unique backgrounds. Yeah.
But they blend so perfectly well into each other, yeah, and you just get that really gorgeous ombre effect. I mean, you can see where I put my fingers on there earlier, but it's a really gorgeous effect that you get on that. So you could use your nesting dies on there to cut out, and it would just be beautiful. And in fact, Ben, let that dry. You can then use your markers to go over the top of the flowers then, and then they'll pop out even more.
Just before I forget, we'll have a look at the stamps, of which that one is a part of the collection. So Mary's just asked, you know when you were doing the colours for the blending for the skin tone on the Molly Harrison stamp, she was asking what were the colours that you used for that? Can you remember?
It was, when I see them, so it was jasmine and, no it wasn't that one, jasmine and, have I got one somewhere else?
Oh, I've caught you on the hot. Do you want to have a look whilst I'm going through the stamps?
I thought it was a different brown. It must have been flint, maybe. Oh, it was desert.
Desert?
Yeah, desert, yes, not dessert, desert.
I said desert. Or did I say dessert? So desert, yes.
Yes.
There you go, Mary. Hopefully that is helpful. We'll have a look at some more of your comments in just a second. Loads of you coming up and saying about what your first ever purchase was, which is so interesting. So we'll read those out in just a bit. If you want to, though, be able to recreate the image which Debbie just showed you a few moments ago, you'll need to go for this collection, which is the Floral Word Stamp Collection, which Enjoy is one of the stamps within the collection. Big stamps these, big focal points. So as we've seen, do you know what, again, absolutely beautiful for the kind of forefront of a card. You get that beautiful stamped word, in this case friend, and then within that all of these gorgeous florals intertwined, which you're going to have so much fun getting your pens into and working with these. There's your thanks with those gorgeous daffodils. There's hello. Then we've got your sister. And again, you know, with the colours that you use, of course, you could make these into any flowers that you want them to be, really. Sorry, hopefully one that you don't have to use that often, but always super handy to have that within your crafting stash. There's Enjoy, which we saw just a few moments ago. Congrats, and Mum. And I think we are now back to the start. Yes, we are. So 8 elements in total. Great deal on that today. Normally £40 or $55, half price, isn't it, pretty much? $19.95 or $27.95, and double point on that collection too. So if you want to add those into your basket, those are your Floral Word Stamp stamps. Right, next up, so we've got your brushes and your blending tools collection. These are super handy. So again, particularly if you are you know, wanting to recreate some of the demos that you've seen on this show, these are great. Now, whichever you prefer, you're getting both within this collection, which is good. So whether you prefer to kind of use your round ink applicator / blending tool / dauber, you've got it in the collection. And then you've got your rectangle as well, which everyone calls the square, but it's quite obviously a rectangle. Great thing is with these is that not only do you get the actual ink applicator itself, but you've got 2 of the removable applicators there, okay? But then included with that, you've also got 10 of your replacement heads for the circle, and then 10 of your replacement heads for the rectangle too. And then within this collection, this is a heck of a deal, isn't it? You're going to get the brushes as well. It's the first time that I've had these in hand, and I hear about these a lot, the Royal Langnickel brushes. So this one here is your 3/4 inch or 19mm. Then you've got your 1/2 inch, which is your 13mm, and then you've got your, which one's this one? I can't read it now, seriously. Well, it's a little bit smaller. And then you've got this brush here, again, for super, super fine work. Debbie probably be able to tell you more about these than I can, but what I'll notice is the brush hairs on these, super, super fine. And do you know what I love about these as well? Is the little grips that you've got. They're almost sort of like, yeah, very ergonomic in their design, and very soft as far as the brushes are concerned. $17.50 or $23.50. So 4 brushes you're going to get. You're getting both of the daubers or ink applicators, and you're getting 10 replacement heads for each of those as well. That's a fantastic buy, really is. You know, if you're wanting to recreate some of the things that you've seen in this show, if you're wanting to, you know, get going with your watercolor effects and doing your backgrounds, that is a stunning buy. $17.50 or $23.50, saving 25% on that deal. Less another 20% on that if you are a platinum member as well. I really like these brushes.
They're amazing.
They're really like super ergonomic and super comfortable, and the bristles are like almost as, not that I go round feeling brushes. I don't even think I'm weird, but like that's like it's almost like stroking a cat.
Yeah, can I tell you something about these brushes? So as a user that has used them for years, literally, what surprises me, Ben, now I don't want to put these brushes down because of their, what I think are quite reasonably priced brushes, because there's a lot of brushes on the market that are very expensive.
Yeah.
And not once ever, and I know this is a bold statement, but it's an absolute fact, have I ever lost a bristle.
You are joking.
No, I'm honestly not joking. I've never ever lost a bristle. I've never painted and had to pick a piece of hair out of my project. Never. So for the price of these, to get a brush of that quality, because for me you'd have to pay a lot of money to get a brush that doesn't shed or doesn't naturally, because you would think that would naturally just come out anyway.
Over time.
They really don't. They will last you for absolutely years without having to replace them.
Wow.
So even when they get, I mean, I've got brushes like this that will actually, they're discoloured, but they're still usable. So it doesn't matter how much they're stained, how much they're discoloured, they will use time and time again. And as long as you look after them and wash them every time, and don't, I mean, my golden rule is do not leave them in water.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't make for a good brush. So always take your brush out of water when it's not in use. But they're amazing.
The fact that you've sung their praises so much has made me just double look back at the screen there and double check that I was reading everything out right, because you're getting all 4 of the brushes, but then as I said, you're getting both of the ink applicators with 10 of the replacement heads for each of them as well. So that's a heck of a deal. 25% off and double points. Wow, grab them, don't miss out. Are you going to use those in this next demo?
Are we? We could.
Oh no, you don't have to. I was just asking the question.
Yes, we are. I'm only joking. We are. Of course we are. We're going to be painting with them. So yeah, so even though we do have a lovely brush nib, which we can use, we can also use that brush nib to layer down colour and then to draw out using our Royal Langnickel brushes. The great thing about those brushes, they literally have a royal title. I mean, being called Royal and Langnickel, you can't get much better than that, I would say.
No, you can't. Langnickel, I mean, yeah, brilliant.
Langnickel, and it feels like you have to say it like Royal and Langnickel.
Well, how do you have to say it?
Royal and Langnickel. So I'm going to use So our producer Laura's just said, who's been watching Bridgerton's? I loved Bridgerton's. Have you seen it?
Debbie, I am so far behind with Netflix / Prime Video / Amazon TV shows. I mean, yeah, no, I've heard of it, which is good for me, but no, I'm miles behind. I've only just finished watching Afterlife on Netflix. That's how far behind I am.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's old, isn't it? That's that couple of years old.
Yeah, it's quite
now.
old, yeah.
But brilliant.
So good. I could not stop. I literally binge watched Bridgerton.
Is that a bit like Downton Abbey?
Do you know what I loved about it is it's got so many. It's like a modern take on Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So Downton Abbey set today?
No, Bridgerton's. Although it's set in the past, it's got a modern twist on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, and actually, I must admit, I watched the first couple and thought to myself, oh, I don't know if I'm really liking it. And by the third one, I was just totally hooked and binge watched the whole series in about 2 days.
See, my problem is I watched all of Afterlife all the way through, which I loved, but then I started watching Cobra Kai, which is on Netflix as well. Which
I've never heard of that.
So that is, you know, the Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
From the 80s. So it's kind of what happened next. It's a spin-off from that with the original characters, you know, in present day. So I watched the first series of that, but then I then sort of, the problem is I love 80s TV, right? I grew up, you know, as an 80s child, love all of the 80s TV stuff. And when it comes back on TV again, I'll just sit and rewatch it. So having, you know, tried to get into the programmes of today, I'm now back into watching the A-Team and also Baywatch, which is repeating on Comedy Central.
I used to love Baywatch.
And also for Christmas, because I had it before, but I'd lost them anyway. I got the original box set of MacGyver from the 80s, so I'm working through all 139 episodes of that currently, so I'll be a long time. So yeah, I'm terrible for going back and watching TV that I used to love rather than trying something new. Creature of habit. Producer Laura just said I need something new to watch. I mean, I'm no use in that department at all, really. Can you suggest anything for Laura to watch, Debbie, that you've seen recently?
Yeah, I'm really I'm now on series 5, but I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh,
it's so amazing. It's brilliant.
I've not heard of that one.
But the trouble is with it is I'm watching it with my partner, so I have to wait till I get home. So I like binge watching when I'm away. So then when I get an hour, I can watch it. No, I'm really good. So Laura's saying, don't tell him and just watch it. But I can't do that. I'm really good. So, but I'm dying. It's just one of those ones that every episode ends and you want to see the next. It's like, oh, it's amazing.
There's lots of love
So
for Bridgerton coming in. Evelyn says, I love it. Watched the whole first season over 2 nights. Shelley, I love Bridgerton so much. I watched it straight through in 1 day.
Oh, 1 day? I thought I was bad in 2. It is so good.
Aisha saying, yes, Debbie, you would love Cobra Kai. So you should give that a go. It is. It's kind of leave your brain at home sort of tea. Do you know what I mean? You sort of check your brain out, which I quite like sometimes. It's really cheesy. It's really cheesy.
Yeah, so we all need, in Bridgerton's, we all need the Duke of Hastings in our lives.
Do we?
We do. Well, you might not, Ben.
Anyway,
so what
let's talk
doing,
TV.
Yeah, talk about TV. It's terrible, isn't it? I'm sure they have these sort of cakes.
In Bridgerton.
So, yeah, definitely. So I'm just using a little bit and we're just working that colour down and just to create. I mean, it's a great way to create the sponge because it really gives that gorgeous technique on there. So I'm just using little, use the wrong one then. Go back to this one, my first one. That's the only thing. Make sure you know which colour you're using. Because
and the other thing as well, just to reiterate, a few more people asking about the card that you're doing all of these projects on as well. So just talk us through that again. What card you use with these?
So I'm using watercolour card. Yep. So I am definitely using the wrong colour here. We'll just have a cake that's got all different layers of different sponge in it.
That's what you want. The producer Laura just said she's been watching a lot of Junior Bake Off, which my 9-year-old is into. That's her show at the moment, Junior Bake Off. So yeah, looks like a cake from that. No, in the fact that no, I didn't mean like that because they tend to make these like they tend to do like fun, not cool, cool looking cakes, but you know what I mean. They tend to do different fun kind of kid designs for the cakes.
Junior Bake Off's amazing because, I mean, honestly, they can cook better than me, Ben.
I just feel really sorry for them because at the end of every episode when they have to get rid of one of the kids, they always cry.
Oh, I know.
Like,
I don't know how they can do it.
I couldn't be Harry Hill on that show, like having to announce. It's horrible. It's horrible. Cruel.
Yeah, it's not the good part. So with the tricolours, all you're going to do is using that you can see I'm using that tiny amount just by going under and then using that with water to bring that down.
June just saying on YouTube, Ben, I love MacGyver. Do you like the new remake? I watched a few episodes, June. I wasn't too fussed. My wife liked the remake only because she liked the guy who plays MacGyver in the new one. So shallow, so shallow. Lots of lovely comments coming in about your original purchases, actually, which is really interesting to read. First purchase was the big Gemini last January on HSN, says Carol. Rosalind, my first purchase was the Envela box. Joy saying, my first CC purchase was the Ultimate, then the Aqua pencils, then, oh, I don't know, everything you have ever manufactured.
I love that.
My first CC purchase was the wooden enveloper.
Oh, wow.
When Sarah, that was the first one, wasn't it?
That was the absolute first one. Have you still got it?
Yeah, who's that? Lynn, have you still got it? If you have, send us a photo with you and your wooden enveloper.
I don't know anyone that's still got one, actually.
Might be worth a fortune.
It probably would be, yeah, absolutely.
My first purchase was Spectrum Noir markers many years ago, says Teresa. Christine, my first purchase was my big Gemini. It would be easy to tell you why I haven't bought since the first lockdown. Jean Marie has all of the CD-ROMs, still use them. Nandia has the, how do you say them? The Desire dies.
Desire, yeah.
Yeah. Toffee, first purchase was the Ultimate Pro. Sharon says, I've several of the old Desire range and started with my Ultimate Pro some 10 plus years ago with a very young Sarah just out of uni.
Wow.
It's amazing, all of these. Little throwbacks. But I laughed when you said Sarah many years ago because it just reminds me of the video that she did for, is it the Ultimate? that I wasn't laughing at her, but because it's sort of, she's obviously just started doing this. Well, she made me redo the voiceover because on the actual video itself, she sort of puts on her telephone voice, and I made a comment about it, and then after that, she was like, right, well, if you don't like it, you can come in and revoice it. So that's what I ended up doing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she sort of spoke a little. We know how we talk when we talk about the ink applicators. Yeah, she sort of spoke a little bit like that in the video. So I sort of laughed and said, "What are you talking like that for?"
So what this would do, Ben, is this lends itself really lovely, this design, for paper piecing as well. So if you put a mask over the top, cut this out, then you can do your background. So if I bring my finished one in, you can see just colouring all of our finished part there. Once it dries completely, we just get this really lovely sort of ombre effect that goes through our cake, and then doing that mottle effect background. So a really nice, easy one to do.
Absolutely brilliant. That birthday cake, comes with the Spectrum Noir stamp collection, if you like. So a bit of a perfect partner really to go with your tricolours. So if you're thinking of grabbing those today and you want to get some stamps to go with them, then this is a really lovely selection to go for. 21 elements in total. Your cake is on the far end there that we've just seen. So your teapot with all of that beautiful cake in. Nice big stamps as well. Plenty of room for you to get colouring and get going with. Then we've got your little doggy. What's that one called? I still can't read it. My eyes are Puppy Love. There we go. My eyesight is absolutely terrible. You've got your Puppy Love. Then we've got this gorgeous You Brighten My Day with that glorious window box. And then we saw this a little bit earlier on, the Let Love Grow. That is the stamp we saw the masking technique on earlier on in the show today. Then you've got the Have a Wonderful Day. And then last but by no means least, we've got our little cat there, Digby. I quite like Digby as the name for the cat, whoever suggested that, which is also included in this collection. It's 21 elements in total, $31.96 or $39.80, and double points right across the board, of course, for you as well. We're going to have a look at Have a Wonderful Day in just a few moments' time, actually. Lots of you also loving the what? Oh, the rotating board. I am not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised after Debbie's revelation a little bit earlier on that we haven't now got board game enthusiasts from around the country jumping in and grabbing this because it is so super cool. Such a simple idea. It's one of those things that you think, oh God, I wish I'd thought of that. But basically, it gives you the opportunity to fully rotate the board so you can spin it all the way around. So you know, if you are drawing, if you're sketching, if you are playing your board games, you know, if you're doing your stamping, if you're doing your painting, if you're doing sketching, it allows you to move the top portion of the board around. You've got these ball bearings in there which move for you to be able to get this at exactly the right angle that you need it. And it's also great for portable crafting. So if you want to be able to craft on your knee, if you want to be able to take this, you know, to the bottom of the garden, if you want to be able to take this when you go away, when we can do that again, it is brilliant for that. The bulldog clip as well comes off so you can, you know, piece your card or paper wherever it might be, and it just makes life very, very easy for you. And just to show you as well, it's a really robust bit of kit, really brilliantly made, and the kind of thing that until you have it, I think it was Fiona who said actually when we first got it, when she first saw it, she was like, well, what do I need that for? And Leanne also like that, what do I need that for? And then when they got it and started using it, it was like, I can't believe I've not had this in my life. $15.99 or $19.99 is the deal on that one. Double points as well. It's a good low price, but the first time you've had the opportunity, well, since I've been here, to get this on double points. So you are paying that price, but you're getting double points on that as well, which is a really good time to get shopping. So worth having a look at that. Right, we have got 20 minutes remaining. And we've got a vote for the demo of the show. So, do you want to do another demo now and then recap on the cards that you could possibly vote for? Just quickly, whilst Debbie's just getting ready to the side of the studio, just recap on the Tricolour markers, stars of the show, I would say. And hopefully you've watched a lot of the show and got some ideas in your head as to how you are going to be using these. And also, if you've already got these and you've got any more questions for Debbie, get those in before the end of the show. so we can ask Debbie before 6 o'clock. So within this collection, you've got your essential neutrals. It's a really nice bundle. With each of the pens, you've got the 3 different colours, which have been chosen specifically for the fact that they blend absolutely beautifully. So you don't have to get these back and then think to yourself, which colours blend with which again, which works with which. It's all been done for you. So like in the Great Outdoors, for example, you've got your Botanic Natural, your Cool Marine and your Rich Floral, but then 3 colours within each pen that, as you can see, blend absolutely beautifully. Then you've got your colour basics, which are your Flame Red, Sunflower and Marine within your Warm Primary. You've got your Cool Primary and your Complementary as well, with all of these different colours in there. And then you finally got your Floral Meadow. Once again, 3 colours per pen, giving you that perfect blend. And you've seen, I think, just a snapshot of some of the things that you can do once you've got these in your life. The storage case, by the way, you get that for free. That comes with this as part of the bundle. You're not paying for it, but a handy way to keep all of your pens beautifully stored and great for kind of transporting them around as well. £38 or $57 is the deal on that. Again, $13.95 you're saving on $19.75. That is your free storage bag for those pens. Get involved and grab yours now. Now is the time to pick up the deals as we head towards the end of the show. And now is the time to get another demo in. And after we've done that, we shall recap on all of the demos that Debbie has done, so you can vote for your favourite from the show. Right, what are you going to show us, Debbie?
Do the beautiful bluebells. So these are a gorgeous one to colour in. If you are frightened of getting or having a dabble into colouring, for me this is a perfect stamp because it's just got the right amount of colouring space for you to just have a little practice with and dabble into it, because what we don't want you to do is get things home, find them too difficult to use and then just put them aside and not use them anymore. So having stamps like these, all of this range, are so usable, and they're going to let you have the confidence to colour them in because you can't make no mistakes on them. They're just, you follow the lines, just try out just one of the colours to start with and start to then blend afterwards. So I would say to anyone that's a new beginner out there and that wants to get into some form of colouring, this is the ideal set for you to start with. So you can see we've got our beautiful image there. What I am going to do is take my pen here, which is our fresh verdants, and we're going to use some water with these as well. In fact, what I might do is I'm going to bring in my sparkle pen, so I've actually got some fluid just running all the time. So what I am going to do is just take our, first of all, we're going to use the dark green and the bud green. So I'm going to lay down my lightest colour first, and I'm just going to pop this just into this part here, and then we're just going to pick this up and work it down our leaf.
Okay. Details at the bottom of your screen for your stamp collection. If you want the sparkle pens as well, they are on the show. We've got the 3 different colour ranges. We've got the metallic, we've got your perfect pastels, and also your glitz and glamour, I want to say. Always very popular. And the $12.90, there you go, $12.99 or $16.95 each. Someone asked earlier on, actually, who was it? Someone was asking, so can you use your tricolours and your tri-blends together? Is that something that you could do?
Your tricolours and your tri-blend. So your tricolours are watercoloured and the other is alcohol.
Okay.
So no.
There you go, Dieta. No is the answer. I love that when we get a nice succinct answer. Don't need to go around the houses.
To be honest, I don't think there is any reason why you can't do your alcohol colouring and then, your watercolouring, let it dry, and then do your colouring on top if you wanted to highlight it in, a bit more. There's definitely no reason, I think. It's a bit like doing your alcohol colouring and adding your pencils on top. So I suppose you could do your watercolouring and then add your alcohol on top of that.
And when you said earlier on, before the show, about your tricolours being probably the best pens that you could go for if you were a newbie, what made you say that?
Because they're very forgiving. So like faux bleaching for instance, so if I wanted to wash out that colour, I could just add water and dab it with a tissue and take it out. So if you go over the edges here, I can literally wet my brush at the edge, take in a piece of tissue and blot it out. So they're very forgiving in what they do. And also if you let it dry, so I'm going to use quite a dark colour here, so just pop in some colour down in our bluebells there. And then using this, I lost my train of thought then. What I was
let it dry.
say. Yes, if you let it dry, you can go then back over it.
Yeah.
So that's what one of the nicest things that you can do. So if you're not really happy with the shading that you're doing, you can let it dry and then just put a bit more into that.
And I kind of feel as well from just a few of the techniques that you've shown us over the last 2 hours that for kind of, I don't think this is a word, but for like growability, these are great because you can start doing one technique and then there's lots of other techniques that as you get more confident with them that you can then go on and do.
They just flow, don't they? Flow into different ones. And then you get different ideas of what you can do. So like for instance, when we did the salt technique, you know, you then start thinking of all these different techniques. So I remember doing a cling film wrap and then someone told me, why don't you use bubble wrap if you're using plastic? And cling film's lovely because you just screw it up into a ball, lay it out over the top and it gives you this crinkly effect.
Ooh, yeah.
And bubble wrap does the same, but obviously it leaves you little dots all over. Which is amazing.
I love all of the different bits and pieces you crafters bring into the craft world, which aren't, like salt, for example, which aren't necessarily crafty things.
That's right.
It's great that you've got so much stuff. Talking about MacGyver, that TV show, it's almost like MacGyver of craft, isn't it? That you've got all of these different things that you wouldn't normally associate with craft that you can bring in and try lots of different things with. Like, for example, the salt technique and like we saw, I think last week or the week before, like using shaving foam and stuff in craft as well. It's just brilliant, isn't it? All these different things you can use.
Oh, I love the shaving foam technique. That's amazing. You could use the shaving foam technique with the sparkle pens.
Oh, right, yes,
You could just squirt that over the top of it and get that
Yeah.
same effect,
It's good fun craft as well, that, isn't it? Because like I said, with the backgrounds that you're showing us earlier on, it's kind of, you never quite know what you're going to get, do you? Do you know what I mean? Until you've actually sort of...
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you really do get something different every single time, especially the backgrounds. I could sit all day and make different backgrounds. That is something I could literally just sit and do.
Really?
Which is amazing. Yeah, totally, because there's so many different ways they come out.
Yeah.
And then you find a way and think, oh, I wonder if I add that colour, what that will do. And then you end up you have just different effects every single time. And then you add another colour into the mix and then get something even different. And then you've got things like splattering over the top, doing different splodge techniques, stamping as well with the, in fact, we've not even done that. Why haven't I done that? We need to do that. Yes, we need to do that. So I haven't finished that and I haven't got a finished one of that. But what I will do for this one, instead of having this one, if anyone votes for this, we'll send all our extra bits with it as well.
Okay.
Shall we run through? Shall we run through all the demos?
Yeah, let's have a quick look then. So we'll number these again as we did on the previous show. So you will line them all up. You can vote for your favourite. 1, 2, I lost track of how many you've done, but here we go. So this is number 1.
Number 1.
I feel like it's on blind date. Number 2.
Number 2.
Or number 3, which is your birthday cake. So there you go. 1, 2, or 3. Water and can, fairy, or cake. Which one do you want to go for? Get voting now. You've got up until, let's say, another 6 or 7 minutes, and then we will close the voting lines and crown the winner and see who's which card is going to go up on our Crafty Walk of Fame. Jean Marie has sent us a picture. Have a look at this, Debbie. Look. It's the original.
Oh my Lord, that's amazing.
Enveloper.
Oh, that is so amazing. I love that. Wow, that's the first time I've seen one in years.
That's the first time I've seen one full stop.
I used to have one.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to have one. Yeah, that was my first one I had. Yeah, that's incredible that you've still got that. Yeah, no, I don't have mine. I don't even know what happened to it, to be honest. So.
Oh, that's amazing, Jean Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's amazing.
That's great. We'll send that on to Sarah maybe, because I think she'll be chuffed to see that you guys have still got those original wooden envelopers. Right, we've got 5 minutes before we're going to announce the winner of the card of the show. So let's have a look at some techniques. So using your tricolour markers straight onto your stamps.
Straight onto your stamps, yeah. I can't even believe I'd forgotten to do this technique.
I thought you'd done it, I've got to be honest, but no.
Yeah, you can actually stamp with them as well, which is amazing. So you just go gently, you can see the side of my brush, and I'm just going down where all those leaves are. And there's lots of little techniques and little hints and tips with doing this. I mean, I've used quite a big stamp, so you just have to, you can either spritz it with water or just keep going over it as you're doing the rest. But it does give a really beautiful technique. And let's just do some pink in these bluebells here. So just doing those. I think I've completely missed the leaves going up there, but you'll forgive me for that. So just colouring over each one, looking down on them, and just using the side of the brush.
Sherlan wants to know, what ink would you use when using the bubble wrap? Did you mention bubble wrap? I thought it was cling film. Or did you say bubble wrap?
I said bubble wrap, yeah, bubble wrap as well. So bubble wrap, what would you use?
Which ink would you use when using the bubble wrap?
Oh, any watercolour technique. Yes, sorry, any watercolour technique. Right, so once you've done that, we're going to do a really hard technique. We're going to do this.
Oh, what's that one called?
That's called the huff.
You're in a huff?
No, called the huff.
Oh, called the huff.
I'm never in a huff.
No, I was going to say, I couldn't imagine you
never
ever being
in a huff. So what that does, look at that, it gives us our beautiful watercolour. But if you was to then spritz it again, you could then get, I've done it on a different thing, but I'm going to just bring this to the side and take it off. Because what we can then do is we can give a little spray, just spray gently onto our stamp. That does that. We can then stamp it again and get another image out of that. So obviously you'd put a different paper on there. So, but yeah, you can keep re-spraying and re-inking, and then you get this really, really cool background.
Really love that. I'm glad we managed to squeeze that in before the end of the show as well, and actually kind of nicely wraps things up really. And you've seen so many great demonstrations, so many great ideas. This is one of those shows I truly think to save, to bookmark, to kind of put on your playlist on YouTube if you are into your tricolours, into your watercolour effects. Just bought these for the first time, because then it's a show that you can come back to time and time again. Perfect to get you started, and then you've got everything there that you need should the crafty mojo go, or should you need to kind of refresh the memory just a little bit. So within this collection you have got your Floral Meadow, 3 pens, 3 different colours within each, which give you that beautiful, beautiful blend. Then you have got your essential neutrals, which is your earthy neutral, your rich neutral, and your grey neutral. This is the Grey Outdoors with the botanical, natural, cool marine, and the rich floral. Again, you can see just how beautifully all these colours blend, basically taking all the worry away from you if you were thinking about getting something like this but then not knowing what works with what. It's all done for you, again, as you can see here in the colour basics, with your complementary, your cool primary, and your warm primary. So you've got 12 pens in total, 36 colours really, for £38 or $57, saving $13.95 or $19.75. And then you also get, for free, your storage case included as well. Double points right across the show, right across the website, right across the weekend. Thank you for all the comments. Do you know what? We've had a lot of comments today. It's been so busy. I've loved all of them. And lots of votes coming in too over the course of the last 5 or 6 minutes. Josie Mitchell on Facebook just saying the fairy for me. Love the blue and the bluebell. My garden will be full of them. So I hope. Thank you, Debbie and Ben. Wow, says Winstar on YouTube. Time just flies by when you're having such fun. And Aisha Dennison saying on Facebook, thank you, Debbie, for a great show. It has been a lot of fun, and your votes have been coming in thick and fast, but which was the winner? Was it card number 1, the happy birthday card? Or did you prefer card number 2, it's fairy? Or did you vote for card number 3, nice bit of tea and cake? The winner was, and making their way to the Crafty Walk of Fame, number 1.
There you go.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Was that your personal fave of the 3?
Yes, it was mine too.
Oh,
I do love that sparkle background, so yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful, lovely technique. If you missed the demo on that a little bit earlier on, of course, you can watch back the show a little bit later on, and that little card will be making its way up onto our Crafty Walk of Fame. And just before we go, at the start of the show, I made the mistake of asking for you to send in pictures of your cat. Kept producer Laura quite busy over the course of the last 2 hours. She now hates me, but I'm now loving life because we get to see the Cat Wall of Fame. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here we go. We do need a little bit of music in the back. We need like, I feel like, you know, Tony Hart, remember that the gallery used to have on his show, but I don't know all the names of these cats and who they all belong to, but these are all, look at that cat in the box. Cat in a box. Look at this cat. That's gorgeous. That cat looks like how I feel, says Laura. And then look at these 2 little cats, they're cuddling each other. This is super cute. That cat, the ginger cat there, looks like the cat, looks like Digby a little bit. Wow, well, that has made my day. Thank you everyone who sent in pictures of cats. You know how to make me smile, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Now listen, we're having a little bit of a break. This has been a jam-packed day today, I do not mind telling you, but we've got another hour to go. So we're gonna go and have a cup of tea. Debbie, thank you so much, by the way. Are you up for another hour?
Absolutely, always up for another hour. So we will see you in not a long time.
Whoop, whoop. In about an hour's time, in fact. Craft Vault is coming your way in an hour. We had items flying out the door earlier. Sellouts on the show as well. If you missed it, we will recap on everything from 7 on some really, really cool deals as part of Craft Vault. You might want to, in the meantime, to sneak ahead over to our website, crafterscompanion.com.uk, and check out the deals that we have before we bring them to you at 7 o'clock. Thank you for all the lovely messages. Jean Marie is saying thanks, Ben and Debbie, for a fantastic show. Loved all your demos and great show again, Ben, Debbie, and the CTV crew, says Teresa. We will attempt to keep this high standard going when we come back to you in an hour's time. But for now, yeah, we're not making any promises. But for now, see you in a bit.